As you can see, I'm feeling a whole lot better after my bout with COVID. But very quick, I want to talk to you about something that's been on my mind since the midterms have begun. Well, early voting for the midterms have begun in several states. Now, what gets me about the Republican Party is, for first things first, I feel very sorry for them. I pity them so much. The Republicans, I mean. The hardcore Republican Party that is just racked with self-deception, lies, and, how should I put this, delusion. I ran across a post by Nick Adams, a loudmouth Donald Trump sycophant, that, excuse me, he posted this 5-part plan to save America. Well, in his mind, to save America. One, that the Republicans take the House and the Senate, which is possible. We need to get that in our heads right now. The possibility that the Republican Party could take the House and Senate. Now, that's what elections do. Okay, that's a possibility. We gotta understand that. Part 2 is that they want to put Donald Trump as Secretary of the House. Speaker of the House. Now, it's a possibility that can happen. I've been trying to do my research on that. There's nothing that says that a person has to be an elected member of Congress to be Secretary of the Speaker of the House. There's nothing in the law that says that that's illegal. I mean, I still got to do my research, but I have to look into that. I'll get back to you on that. Now, 3 and 4 are probably the most idiotic. 1, they want to impeach President Biden. 2, they want to impeach Vice President Biden. Excuse me, Vice President Harris. Now, I'll get to that in a few minutes of how stupid that sounds. And 5, they want Donald Trump to save America when he becomes president again. Excuse me, I got a sore throat. There we go. There it is. Now, I pity these people, and I pity people like Nick Adams. I mean, I don't like them. I just pity them because they're wroth with this delusion, this idea of delusion that somehow they're going to take power extra-constitutionally. Now, again, Trump being Speaker of the House, it's a possibility. Now, I haven't seen anything against the law saying that it has to be an elected member of Congress to be Secretary of State. The Speaker of the House. Now, them impeaching Biden, they can try, but what exactly are you going to impeach him for? Is it because you don't like him? Is it because you still are laboring on this delusional belief that somehow Donald Trump won the election in 2020? It's over. He lost. But even if, let's say for the sake of argument, you do impeach Biden and get him out of office. Vice President Kamala Harris, becomes the next president, and she appoints someone to become her vice president. Let's say you try to impeach Harris and actually succeed. Then, the President Harris appointed becomes the president. It's not going to work. I thought Nick Adams, who claims to be a constitutional scholar, I thought he of all people would understand that. But apparently he doesn't. But the dark part about all of this, the stupid part of this, is the simple fact that somehow these people think they're going to take power extra-constitutionally. But the reason I feel sorry for these people, honestly, is coming from a line from a movie that I once saw, Inherit the Wind. Now, I've quoted this movie plenty of times. Now, how does it go? Fanaticism and ignorance is forever busy and needs feeding. Those are the two words, fanaticism and ignorance, that goes into the Republican Party perfectly. Now the question becomes, why? Why are we seeing this fanaticism and ignorance being pushed out so hard by the Republican Party? Because it's the only thing they have. Literally, it's the only thing they have. I've asked people, Republicans, throughout this entire election cycle right now, what are the Republicans going to do if they take the House and the Senate? What are they going to do about high gas prices? No answer. Impeach Biden. What are you going to do about high crime rates in cities that you say are out of control? No answer. Impeach Biden. What are you going to do about fentanyl overdose? No answer. Impeach Biden. What are you going to do about inflation? The biggest pet peeve that they've used against Biden. No answer. Impeach Biden. Fanaticism and ignorance. Two things that have destroyed nations throughout history. And it's got to stop. But I honestly feel sorry for these people. I really do. I mean, I'm a man who believes in the goodness of people until they show me how evil they are. And in the last few years, we've seen that evil in the Republican Party take shape. I'm not just talking about the Trump years. I'm talking about everything in the last 40 years, from Nixon to Reagan, from Reagan to the Bushes, to the Bushes to the Trumps. It's happened all over again. I thought that people like Nick Adams were constitutional scholars. They would know that this is impossible. But I have to feel sorry for them, because not only did they con themselves into believing that they can take power extra-constitutionally, they let themselves be conned by a skilled con man who knows nothing about the government, nothing about the law, nothing about the Constitution. The very Constitution they want us to see as holy writ. I feel sorry for these people. I really do. But that doesn't mean we should stop our fighting. This midterms, I want you to find people in your houses, in your families, in your workplaces. I want you to go to people on the street and ask them, are you registered to vote? Are you going to vote this midterms and the elections of 2024? Are you going to take an interest in politics in this country? Because that is the only way we fight, with our votes. Voting is the most powerful thing, the most powerful weapon we have in this country. More powerful than the gun. As much as these gun nuts would like this to think that it's not powerful, it is powerful. Otherwise, people in the Republican Party wouldn't be working overtime to try to take your right to vote. And yes, they are doing that. Now, as for people like Nick Adams and the idiotic Republicans that I saw at this past Trump rally this past weekend in Texas, I have none but the greatest sympathy for these people. I really feel incredibly sorry for them. Because in the end of the day, what have they done for themselves? They've done nothing but make things worse for themselves. They self-identified themselves as the most stupidest Americans in this country. They have no knowledge of government. They have no knowledge of the law. Whenever someone shows you who they are, believe them. I believe what these people are. Make no mistake about what is at stake in these midterms. And to make no mistake of how fast things can go off the rockers, off the rails, in a Republican-ran America. CTP. There's one more. And to finish that quote from that movie, I think all of us need to understand that movie I mentioned earlier. Fanaticism and ignorance is forever busy and needs feeding. And soon, with banners flying and with drums beating, we'll be marching backward that glorious age of the 6th century, when bigots burned the man who dared to bring enlightenment and justice and intelligence to the human mind. That description fits the Republican Party to a T. And make no mistake about this, they're just getting started. CTP, know the truth. God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right. Fight with our votes.